Hey, do you want to learn how to make electronic music for free? Do you want to be like Virtual Riot or some other guy with a marshmallow on his head? Well, you've come to the right video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make music. Obviously I'll be using LMMS. It's a free software for making music and I use it a lot. I love it. Yeah, you should get it. Get it. So once you've installed this LMMS thing, what you want to do is don't look at anything here first, except for the song editor. So you can close everything else except for song editor. Now it's empty because you have nothing in it. First thing you want to do is to go to this plugin windows. It says instrument plugins. Drag in one of these things. I'll be dragging in triple oscillator, which is one of the instruments that you can use to make music. Now, triple oscillator is really easy to use, but you still need to know basic functions of this thing. So you see there's a keyboard here. You can click the keys and it'll make noise. Now, if you want to change up the noise, you can change up these waveforms here. And you got a different sound. Now, why is it called triple oscillator? Because there's 3 oscillators. 1, 2, 3. Basically 3 instruments in one instrument. And you can do whatever you want with them. Like, whatever you want to do with them. Now you got some waveforms here that you can use. There's not really a rule with which one you choose. It's just how it sounds to you. What sound do you want? Experiment, and then you find some random combination and it sounds like this. First off, I'm gonna turn down the volume of triple oscillator real quick, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't have to worry about all these other knobs. I'll teach you them in another video if you want. So you got your basic sound. Now what do you do with this sound? First of all, you can double click it and you can change the name to sound 1 or something. You can change to anything. You can name it in anything, doesn't matter. Now to put down notes, you need to double click on any of the bars here and it'll open a piano roll. Now in this piano roll, on the vertical side it's the different notes you can play, and on the horizontal side it's the timeline. So if I place a note here, for example, that's a C4, I'm gonna move it to C5. And if you put a G and you put another C and another G and you play it using the play button, it sounds like this. So it's very simple, just drag in some notes. First off, I'm gonna try and make a simple melody. So I got a melody, it's quite trash. That's something that we can use for this basic song. So it sounds like this. So it's something I threw together. Now, with just one sound, it sounds pretty boring. What we can do, we can add another instrument to have 2 instruments playing at the same time. Now, I'm gonna choose all of this waveform. It's called the saw wave. See, it says saw wave right there. What we can do here is, first of all, lower the volume a bit. You always want to lower the volume a bit because you don't want them to be way too loud because it'll start to distort and sound really bad. We can call this sound 2. You know what? We can do something. We can turn off oscillator 3 by turning the volume down to infinite, minus infinite. You can play using your keyboard. It can be a computer keyboard or an actual keyboard with piano keys on it. You don't have to worry. You can just use your mouse to click on it. Now let's do a simple chord progression underneath this melody. Nah, I don't. Actually, I don't want to do two swirl waves. I'll change this to maybe this thing, triangle wave. So I got a loop. So now you got some basic 4 bars of a song. Nice. Now it sounds boring because we don't have drums. Just go down to your drums here. Find some drums. Just find some drums. Now all you want is a kick drum. Then you want a hi-hat. Then you want the snare drum. Now you have kick, hi-hat, snare. This is one way you can put your drums. There's a second way you can do it. Go up here and press add beat/bassline. So you have this, right? This is basically a mini song editor that you can put in different parts of the song. So you don't have to copy and paste every time. You can just click and it will drop this bassline 0 on it. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's get all our sounds in here. Now, in the beat and bassline editor, it's an easier way to make patterns, but I generally don't prefer it because you can't change the pattern of the beat/bassline, whatever you want to try and make. So if I make a simple pattern like this, kick, hat, snare, hat, kick, hat, snare, hat. Basically it plays like dun 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 like that. And then if you want to put it in your song, you click. And then you go up here and drag, and then it'll be in the song. Sounds like this. Now I know the sounds are really harsh and doesn't sound good. What we're going to do, click on the triple oscillator, go to effects, add effects. Now there's a list of effects here you can add. Basically it changes the sound in the way you want. Now I'm going to teach you how to use an equalizer. So type in equalizer and click the equalizer by LMMS. Double click and it'll open this. Now what is this? This is basically the frequency spectrum, and this is the loudness of the sound that's playing currently. So we solo the chords and we take a look at the equalizer here. You can see that there's some things popping out. That's the sound that you can see. In a song, you don't want noises to clash together. So what you want to do is take band 1 and you want to cut away a bit of the low frequency sound. Now the sounds to the left are always lower in pitch and the sounds to the right are higher in pitch. So if you cut it more, it'll cut out the lows and it'll basically sound less bassy, if you know what I mean. Now you can play with this however you want. It's not just this button, you can move this button as well. It's basically is a thing to shape however you want it to sound. Now to make our chords less harsh, we're going to cut away the lows and a bit of high end. Around the high bits are where the sound tends to sound really crispy, and you don't want too much of that, especially when you got other instruments playing at the same time. Now let's go to sound 1 and let's apply the same equalizer. I'm gonna cut away the lows again because the lows are really bad sometimes for mixing. You want to cut away the lows, except for the basses. The basses you leave them at the lows. Now here I'm going to cut away a bit of the highs as well, a bit of the middle. The middle is kind of the muddy area, and I'm gonna boost some of the highs to make it more audible and clear. Now let's see how this sounds with the rest of our things. Great, now it sounds less distorted and harsh on the ear. Let's add another triple oscillator. I'm gonna try square wave this time. I'm gonna use only one oscillator, so oscillator 2 and 3 is not on. I just put it on minus infinite. Now we're going to call this bass. By the way, rename this to chords and this to lead or melody. I'll just call it melody. Now bass, let's have a bass line. What we're gonna do is hold control, click on the chords notes, drag it all the way down to bass. Now you got a copy of it. What you're going to do is right click on all the notes except for the ones on the bottom. Now when you do that, you have the bottom notes of the chords, which you can use as the bass. Okay, that's a bit too high. It's a bit too loud. Yeah, that's about right. We are having some progress. Let's go to the effects of the bass. Add an equalizer. You always need equalizer, no matter what. Unless the sound is so insignificant, then you don't need an equalizer. But mostly you need. Now, with the bass, I'm going to cut away the highs. Because it's a bass, you need the highs. Even on the bass, I want to cut away like a bit of the lows. The low is just really bad, hard to control, and you don't want to mess with the low end from 20 Hz to 100 Hz too much, unless, you know, you're a bit more experienced. But since you're a beginner and you don't know how to do stuff, I'll just tell you to move it to about 100 here. And yeah. I'm just gonna delete the rest of these drums we're not gonna use, since we have the beat and bass line, we have the pattern right here. I'm gonna turn down the volume of everything, a bit of the drums as well. Now I don't like the chords because they're kind of distorted, very crispy, and I don't like it. It kind of ruins the song. These three knobs on each of the oscillators here, that is the pitch is on. So this is minus 24 semitones, this minus 12 semitones, and that's 0 semitones. So that means all three of these voices are an octave apart. So I don't want that. I don't want too much of spread. So I want to put this maybe on 0, since we only have 2 oscillators. That one doesn't matter. And I want to cut back a bit less, because I think I cut it too much and it sounds really weak now. So let's add everything we have. Yeah, that's the basic 4-bar loop you have. Now, what else can you do? There's something that I want to teach you, and it's called sidechain. Now, sidechain is really complicated, but you also can't live without knowing what it is. So I'll teach you what it is. Now, sidechain makes a song more pumpy. Now, how does it do that? It takes the kick, when the kick hits the song, it's lowered in volume so that the kick can stand out more. Because with everything playing and the kick won't be as strong as when the kick plays and the song is quietened down. And then when the kick is released, the song comes back up. It's what makes that pumpy effect. To show you how to do this, we're going to make a trigger. Now, I know I'm pulling a triple oscillator, but we're going to go to the effects. We're going to straight up add peak controller. Now, when we add the peak controller, we have to mute the output. Now, when you press that button, you realize triple oscillator doesn't make a noise anymore. And yes, we don't need that to make a noise because we're using triple oscillator as a signal. When I press the note, it tells the song to quieten down. I want to put the bass on 0.5. We're going to leave that. And amount, we're going to put that on about here. Now, why is the amount on -68? We just want to make the volume of everything go down 68% about. Go down here, that's 1. 1 is about 100%. I mean, it is 100%, yeah. So now, we are going to take a look at this kick. It's playing every second beat. So if we go here, and we do it every second beat. So that's the first beat, we skip the second beat, and we put on the third beat. We're just copying the exact notes the kicks are playing. Now, the controller is a device, you can say, that takes this signal and sends it somewhere. Now we need to know where to send it. We can go to this volume bit, right click, connect to controller, and controller 1. Controller 1 is the peak controller we just had. So we're going to connect everything to controller 1. Actually, I was wrong. The pattern is more like every beat, so just fill in the beats. Yep, and oh, it's just reset all the volumes. We don't want that. So let's go back here and adjust it a bit. Of course, this isn't the best way to do it, but you see, if we change the bass is its normal volume. If we put it here in the middle, then everything will be at the middle. If we put it down, everything will be nothing. And if we put it up to the top, everything will be super loud. Now let's put it about here, about 0.3. Now, what is happening is every time this note plays, while the song is playing, this volume knob will go down. And when the note is released, the volume knob comes back up. Now, take a look at these volume knobs. Now you can see the kick is really strong, but it's a bit too much in my opinion. Let's turn the modulation a bit less. So 0 is nothing. It does absolutely nothing. We need to turn it a bit. Minus 0.21, I would say. No, that's a bit too less. Just a bit more. That's a bit too much. Fine tune it a bit. Now, it sounds really harsh still. The volume knob is instantly changing. Now, we want to change that so it's a bit smoother. We can add a bit of attack, a bit of decay or release. Once we added a bit of that, the volume knob will move a bit smoother instead of instantly changing there when the note is playing. Now let's compare that to when we don't have a sidechain. Yeah, we finally completed our song. Obviously there's way more than this. There's a ton of other instruments and plugins. Really, it's really a lot to discover. Yeah, we just used one instrument and made this whole song using one instrument. You still got tons of instruments, and you can download even more instruments, thousands of instruments that do different things. But yeah, using Triple Oscillator, you can make a simple song. Not really a good song, but perfect for a beginner. Now, you don't want to lose your project, right? You want to save it. Go to File, Save, then call it something. Call it Dong Song or something. Yeah, just call it Dong Song and save. Done. Yeah, you got a song. I'll play it one last time. I'll play it now. Yeah, so yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll make more videos to help you with making epic music. Also, check out my new song on Spotify called Neon Forest. Yeah, give it a listen and tell me what you think in the comments as well. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Go and make some music now. Try to be creative, try to experiment with things, and yeah, hopefully you can make a good song. Your first good song. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.